Sunday, the 23rd of August, live and direct from Riverside View in Diepslooot in Johannesburg. Good morning, you're watching SABC News. This is a special coverage of the ANC's manifesto launch. The ANC launching its manifesto ahead of the local government elections of the 4th of November 2026. I'm Thulasizwe Simelane, part of the formidable SABC News team that is fully deployed in and around this venue, but also around the country to reflect on the ANC's manifesto and the promises and undertakings that they will be making to the public and voters across the country ahead of that all-important polls. Let me set the scene for you in just a moment before we start our rolling coverage. As I said, we are in Riverside View, and that is in Diepslooot in Johannesburg, in northern Johannesburg. It is an area, it's no coincidence or accident that we find ourselves here for the ANC's manifesto launch. Some time ago, I think a couple of months ago, the ANC started talking about they are not chasing numbers in terms of stadium politics. They are not seeking to go to a large stadium like they used to do back in the days, but rather they would want to be in communities. Well, the choice of Riverside View makes a lot of sense if you are the ANC and you want to showcase to put your best foot forward. This is simply because Riverside View is a community that has mixed use housing, and in terms of the numbers that the ANC has been sharing ahead of the launch, there are some 10,000 housing opportunities that have been availed for people in and around this area of Riverside View. Juxtapose that with where a lot of these people would have come from before occupying this mixed-use space that has low-cost housing, first house financing, but also RDP housing that has been provided. Much of it high density in terms of how they build special planning, such that it's multiple stories high and families live there. Juxtapose that with just across the river where many of them would have come from, the heart of Diepslooot. This is part of Diepslooot, but it's not really the heart of Diepslooot. Many of the people would have come from the heart of Diepslooot, the area that was established in and around 1994 to accommodate people who had been evicted from a number of informal settlements around Johannesburg. So the ANC wants to showcase this as part of the journey of transformation of society. They don't have much else really to campaign on other than their track record, and they believe that Riverside View showcases that track record really well. Our team is on the ground, as I said, including Samgele Masego, who will be roving around and tracking the crowds that are starting to build up here at Riverside View. It's an open space where the ANC has set up a marquee and set up some chairs for people to come through. People are starting to arrive with the expectation that the ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa will address this gathering around 11 a.m. or thereabouts. But don't hold me to that in terms of commitment to the time. So having set the scene in that way, then let's speak to SABC News political editor. There I go, demoting you, Mzwai Dilembeje, with me once again. Mzwai, here we find ourselves. Let's start with the scene. I was setting the scene about where we are, and I need you to confirm for me. It's no coincidence or accident that we find ourselves at Riverside View for the launch of the ANC manifesto, is it?
Certainly no coincidence. In fact, as we were speaking as recently as yesterday, when we had the mayoral announcement candidates, this place was carefully chosen because this is the model the ANC would have wanted to replicate across the country. Because if you look around, this is what I think ordinary South Africans would want to see the ANC do. If you are in this place, they actually have done all that is required of them. Service delivery, you can see the development happening here. And I think if they were to replicate this anywhere else in the country, probably there will be huge confidence in the party. So the reason why they brought this here is because they have been able to do some of what they had promised many years ago. And I think in their view, they feel this could be an inspiration and perhaps affirmation from the people here to say ANC delivers. As you've said in your intro there, to say the only thing the ANC can say now is we have delivered, because they have been given power, and then how have you used that power? So if you take then your launch to this place, then we are able to say this is what we have done during our time. The question will be, so if you are able to do this at Riverside in Diepslooot, so are you able to do it elsewhere?
And of course, I don't think there'll be many in the ANC who will want to be sticklers for detail in terms of which level, which sphere of government was responsible for leading the delivery. It helps them that, there's sometimes it becomes a bit of a blur for citizens. Citizens just want things delivered and want things to work. They don't care whether that came through the national government, provincial government, or local government. But let's dwell on this point for a little bit, Mzwai, because I imagine that the ANC's adversaries and competitors in the political space will be watching the scenes that are playing out here. It's a dusty ground where we are in Riverside, and as I said, there's a few marquees, one or two that have been set up, and the grand stage that has been set up, and chairs for people to come and sit. Many of the ANC's critics, competitors and adversaries will not miss that point and will say you are a party that at some point could easily fill Ellis Park Stadium and Johannesburg Stadium nearby for your manifesto launch. They will have to navigate that and talk to it, won't they?
Certainly, but as you know, this thing, it was at some point, they even coined a name for it, stadiumology. Yeah. And then it tended to really detract from the core message. And I think that's what the ANC would want to say, listen, the stadiums tended to distract in terms of the core message. I mean, even these dusty grounds we are on, Thulas, we were checking earlier to say, why are you bringing us here? And they're saying, so this is one other place of development, because apparently still subject to confirmation, they will build a school here. Right. So to basically say that where we are bringing you, it's development throughout. But the fact of the matter is that this organization at some point had a 2/3 majority. So that's why it was easy for them to fill stadiums anywhere. So has the track record been able to continue affirm that? Well, the jury is still out, but of course we know the numbers. 2024 told us the numbers. The question now, how are they going to react in the local government elections?
All right. So let me set the scene slightly further, Mzwai, just going into the details of what's at stake here. Of course, Riverside View in Diepslooot is part of the Johannesburg Metropolitan Municipality. And as far as electoral prizes on the 4th of November are concerned, they don't come bigger than the city of Johannesburg. The ANC is in leadership in the city of Johannesburg. It has Mayor Tata Morero and a few other MMCs, but not governing on their own, governing with the support of a number of other political parties in a coalition of sorts. So they'll be looking to clinch as many of the 270 seats in the Johannesburg Metropolitan Council, and you need 136 seats in order for you to occupy the majority position. That's part of the story of why the ANC is launching its manifesto here. As Mzwai points out, yesterday the ANC hosting a rather curious event, really, where it had been billed as the announcement of the ANC's mayoral candidates for the 8 metros and 44 districts, as well as a number of other strategic cities and municipalities. But in the end, ultimately, in fact, at the 11th hour, really, the ANC changing it and downgrading it to saying that they will only be announcing the people that are in the running to become ANC mayoral candidates. Let me turn back to Mzwai to talk to that a bit more. So Mzwai, we'll talk the electoral prize in a moment, but the story of yesterday is a rather big one, isn't it? What happened yesterday? I was glued to my TV thinking, okay, there's going to be this announcement. We'll get to find out who will go up against the other party candidates that have already been announced for the city of Johannesburg, Mangaung, eThekwini, Nelson Mandela Bay, and so on and so forth, only to be told that there's a field of candidates that have been identified following this rather different methodology that the ANC followed this time around. What happened?
Leading to the event of yesterday, there's been a lot of disagreements in terms of when exactly should they be unveiled.